7 off 4, favourite in 4. 5 to 2 the 5 and 10 to 1 about trap 6. Less than 2 minutes of betting time at Tralee. Aqueduct, they are slowly arriving at the post of the BA. Go behind Tralee, 6.57. Couple of changes, 7 to 1, trap 2, 12 to 1, the 6, still the favourite. Dingara Brandy, trap 4 at 7 to 4. And they're about to start loading up a Tralee for race number 2 on the card there. And everybody that's joined us live at Facebook and on Twitter as well, you're warmly welcome to a very special hour here at Betfred as we preview the Cheltenham Festival. Mark Pearson live in studio with Matt Humes. Got Dan Barber from Time For Me, looks smart in his dark jacket. Tom Lee is wearing his grey suit as well, posh as per normal. And we'll be having a look at all of the big races, of course, at Cheltenham. And we'll have some very special boosts for you during that hour as well. 60 minutes of info and fun as well. Coming your way in 3 minutes' time.
Tralee, 525 yards, grade A5 in trap 1, Shamrock Rose, 2, Anytime Anywhere, 3, Headley's Trinkle, 4, Dungara Brandy, 5, Clunamon Cougar, and 6, Tokenfire Nan. Where we go for race number 2, and 1 breaks well on the inside from 5 and 6, then comes 2, 4 and 3. Into the opening bend they go, and 1 on the inside going well. Shamrock Rose takes them into the second bend from 6 on the outside, then comes 5, 2, 4, 3 has a bit to do. Down the back straight they go, 1's been joined by 5 up the middle, and 5 takes up the running. Clunamon Cougar out in front from 1 and 6, then comes 2, 4, 3. 5 has a length advantage as they approach the final bend. 4 begins to make a good move in second position as they turn for home then. Clunamon Cougar out in front from 4, who's finishing fast, then comes 1, but it's 5 going to win this one just about from the fast finishing 4. 5-4-1, they cross the line in a time of 29.35.
5.
Well, whether you're in shop here at Betfred or online via Facebook or Twitter, coming away in the next minute, we're going to kickstart the Cheltenham preview show from 7 till 8 o'clock. Live here at Betfred.
Festival is
going to push the favourite.
It's Ladies' Day. St Patrick's Thursday.
The Irish invasion is here.
It's the final day here at Cheltenham.
The Gold Cup.
4 days like no other. A festival like no other. For a bookmaker like no other. Betfred, at the heart of Cheltenham.
Hello and welcome. We're certainly at the heart of Cheltenham. Welcome to our preview show as we build up to the greatest show on turf.
And the colours of JP McManus for Mark Walsh, who are the Unibet champion hurdle winners.
Altior just doesn't want to let his championship go, and Altior is going to win another championship.
It's Frodon and Bradley Frost, a match made in racing heaven. He's going to see it out to win again at Cheltenham. Paisley Park has moved on by 2 lengths. He's won all his races this season. Now he's won the Sun Racing Stayers Hurdle. It's album photo. Annabelle Fly is staying on well, but no photo required. Album photo wins the Magnus Cheltenham Gold Cup.
It quite simply is the greatest show on turf. Cannot wait till 1:30 on Tuesday afternoon when we hear that famous Cheltenham Roar and to discuss, well, most of the races, because we've only got an hour. We've got some prize boosts as well. I'm delighted to say Tom Lee from RTE is with us. Thanks for coming in, Tom. And Dan Barber from Timeform is with us as well. And Matt Humes is with us as well. He'll be bringing us some price boosts very, very shortly as well. But Dan, just start with you. I mean, there'll be people watching this who've never been to Cheltenham, might have never watched it before. What is all the fuss about? Why are we currently doing probably the 100,000th Cheltenham preview that's happened this week?
Well, at 99,999 of those, people use the phrase Olympics of horse racing. And that's basically what it is.
That's the World Cup, isn't it?
It's the World Cup horse racing. It's one of those big tournaments. Maybe Ryder Cup nowadays with the invasion of the French in a couple of races. I'm particularly keen on one for the cross-country race. And it is. It's just the very best horses, the very best riders, the very best trainers competing. And having built up to this for the entirety of the season, it probably starts on Midlands National Day, the Saturday after. People are already thinking of what they're going to do at Cheltenham next season.
Tom?
I see Dan Barber and I'll raise him because I would say, literally, as this year's Cheltenham's being delivered, enjoyed, sampled, savoured, will he even then be thinking about anti-post quotes for 2021? It's the top, it's the peak, it's the pinnacle, and look what it does to people. Whether you're a once-a-year punter or whether or not you're Willie Mullins or Paul Nicholls or Nicky Henderson, it just stirs something inside you that nowhere else can quite do. These 4 days, there's just something about it. I don't think you even have words for it. It's really remarkably special.
28 races, and it all starts at 1:30 on Tuesday. Just going to go a few of our offers for you. Right then, we will be best odds guaranteed at Cheltenham. Now, 6 o'clock the night before in our shops, we are best odds guaranteed on the races. So, for example, 6 o'clock Monday night, 6 o'clock tomorrow, we're best odds guaranteed on Champion Hurdle Day, all the races. Best odds guaranteed online, because I know quite a few of you are watching on Facebook, on Twitter at the moment. You're very welcome. Thanks for joining us. Best odds guaranteed online kicks in at 7 in the morning. Right, multi-bonuses. This is what I absolutely love because we all do a lucky 15. Now, these are in the Betfred shops. So in the Betfred shops, you get these offers. So you get an all lucky 15 up, you get a 25% bonus. You could pick one on a Tuesday, one on a Wednesday, one on a Thursday, one on a Friday. You could have the 4 short ones. And if you all win, you'll get a 25% bonus as well. That's in the Betfred shops. We're going to have extra places in the Betfred shops and online as well. So the extra places will be announced throughout the week. Treble odds for one winner. I think it's the best offer we do. Treble odds for one winner on a Lucky 15. It costs Fred a fortune every single year. And as well, I mentioned it, the extra places throughout the week we'll have the extra places. And if you're new to Betfred, Fred's pushes. Now, they are industry best prices. They'll be at 10:30 every day. And if you're in the Betfred shop, you'll be able to see Richard Johnson as well, the champion jockey, will be joining us. And Richard Johnson will be joining us in, about 25 minutes' time on the phone as well. He's been riding at Warwick today as Richard Johnson. And we'll have pushes at 10:30 and 12. And we're also going to have pushes this evening as well, because it's a bit different from your normal preview shows. You're not going to hear from me about 11:15 saying, oh, we better move on to Thursday. We're only on for an hour. And the most important part of this hour is the price boost. They're big, so let's join a big man. Matt, give us some price boosts at Cheltenham.
We hope to see Richard Johnson. He's going to be stood next to me, so hopefully I don't obscure him at Cheltenham. Right, let's get stuck in some price boosts then. We're going to start with the Arkle mob. We've got a notebook here for Henry de Bromhead. He's around about a 5-2 shot now. We're going to go 3-1.
Pardon? 5-2 to 3-1?
You started already, haven't you?
This is Betfred, mate. 7-2. 7-2 for notebook. These are what Fred's pushes are going to be like next week. 7-2. I want you to go for notebook. Henry de Bromhead, unbeaten in 4 over fences. Obviously, he's got a cracking book of rides this week, hasn't he, Henry de Bromhead?
Henry de Bromhead, great train. Rachel Blackmore, of course, riding. And you can tell I come from the trading room. I'm trying to keep it tight. Mark's having none of it. 7-2 then, notebook. A beautiful jumper, probably the best jumper in there. Looking forward to running him, to him going in the Arkle. Right, in the National Hunt Chase then, the last race on the day. Carefully selected for Willie Mullins. You happy with this one? 2-1?
Yeah.
Big, yeah. 2-1 then, carefully selected for William Paddy Mullins. He's got a great record in the race. Right, we're going to hear from Tom Lee shortly. He's quite sweet on the chance of this one. Manila Indo. We're going to boost it though, why not? Was 3-1. We're going to boost that one to 4-1. Last year's Albert Bartlett winner. And the champion bumper as well. This has been one of the gambles anti-post of the season so far. Appreciate it for exactly the same connections as carefully selected. Was 6-4, boosted to 2-1. Many people's banker at this year's Cheltenham Festival.
Thanks so much, Matt. Very quickly, you mentioned the Arkle. What horse is Aidan Coleman on in the Arkle?
Put the kettle on.
Yes, please. That's a very important job as well. We all need a brew on a Sunday night, don't we? We obviously, a lot of Cheltenham previews, you have pints. We can't have a pint in front of us, but I'll take you out for a pint after the show, gents. Right, let's start with the pushes. So first of all, the Arkle. We'll talk about the Arkle in depth, but Henry de Bromhead's notebook, unbeaten in 4 over fences, 7-2, Dan.
Yeah, it's a massive price. It's a huge boost, really, compared to the industry price as well. And what's not to like about a horse that's amassed an unbeaten record, has taken so well to fences? His hurdling form's a distant memory now because he's exceeded it by stones. He is a bit edgy, that's the negative. He bolted to post pretty much last time in Ireland, but I believe earplugs are going to be used to try and keep a lid on him. And if they keep a lid on him and he tracks the pace that's likely to be breakneck, he does look the most likely winner.
Tom, 65 festival winners for Willie Mullins. Carefully selected, 3 over fences.
Well, to me, this is no great surprise that Fred's seen fit to give this a fair old shove. 13-8 out to 2-1. I was at Naas the last day. They left it pretty late in the day to get the requisite experience into this horse, and even then, what's characterised his 3 wins over fences in all 3 displays has been clumsy, oafish errors. He looked in deep trouble the last day, carefully selected, and even over 3 mile 6 on a stiff, demanding track like Cheltenham, I think he might get left behind. I think this is going to be run at such a tempo and a pace and a rhythm. This is a horse who cannot afford to make these sloppy, amateurish errors, and to me, he jumps like a crab. Not for me. Thank you very much. These are the kind of remarks that can leave egg all over your face.
No.
I couldn't go near him with stolen money.
The most important part of this hour is honesty from you fellas. So if carefully selected's not for you, boosted at 2-1. What about Manila Indo, boosted to a top price of 4-1? Surprised us all in the Albert Bartlett last year.
now it's a party. If you think that 4 of the last 10 winners of that RSA chase on Wednesday won over hurdles at the previous year's festival, Manella Indo, who went on and reaffirmed the impression he made at Cheltenham by winning at Punchestown. Yes, he got beaten first time out this season, but that was over an inferior trip, 2.5 miles, up to his necessary 3 miles the last day. Back of the net, no mistake. He's got the right person on board. Henry de Bromhead operating at a 30% strike rate with his runners. He's got the excellent Rachel on his back. And yes, this RSA chase features Champ, but he fell in the dipper. Yes, you've got Copperhead, who's been increasingly impressive. But Manella Indo, I think that 4-1 is a highly attractive bet. He's got so much quality, and it's still early days. He's got loads more to come over fences. Loves it here at Cheltenham. Handles the ground, handles the trip, the track, and crucially the occasion. He's no notebook who gets fizzed up. He's a real pro despite his tender years. I think he wins.
Dan, appreciate it. Champion bumper, 2-1 from 6-4. Willie Mullins won it 9 times before, 3 times in the last 10 years. Most people do look for the Mullins horses in the bumper. So if you fancy appreciate, top price 2-1.
Yeah, and he was really, really good at the Dublin Racing Festival. It was a race full of previous winners, horses that came with reputations themselves. The wide receiver, Eric Bloodak's form line, that was left trailing by this really impressive, imposing horse who has been the talk of the town for this race ever since. And it's a short price in the first place to be taken in a race with so many unknowns. That's the key point about the champion bumper. You're just scratching the surface with these horses.
It's a short price, but it's a top price, Tom.
It's
all we can do.
It's a short price and it's a top price, and it's pay your money, take your choice in the shops this evening. But with Dan, I think it's a race absolutely laced with dangers. Horses who are going to be 10, 12, 14, 16, 20, 25-1. Look out for Tom Lacey in the bumpers. His runner, Adrimel, he's done a lot right and absolutely nothing wrong in that unnecessary racing speak.
And the Pipes have probably got a couple of decent ones as well in the bumper, haven't they?
Yeah, they've added to that as well. They've purchased Panic Attack, who won first time out for Willie Mullins. I imagine the sum was significant to buy a 4-year-old filly and transfer from Willie Mullins. What does that say about her? Does it say that Willie was happy to get rid? I suspect not. I suspect the chequebook was open, probably a blank one. And they've purchased a filly who was really good in a listed race first time out.
Still more price boosts to come, by the way, as well. Now, those price boosts are up to £100, so up to £100 for those price boosts. Right, let's turn our attention to the champion hurdle. I was talking to one of my mates the other day. He said it's a rubbish champion hurdle. He said it's a rubbish Gold Cup, but I still can't wait for the 4 days. Right then, I think I'm going to make a bold prediction, right? Champion hurdle will not be 3-2 on the field on Tuesday. The champion hurdle will more like 4-1, 9-2, or even 5-2 on the field.
A 3-way go potentially, Mark. I absolutely hear
because
you.
Because unfortunately, Epitant, she's been classed, but a few question marks.
Well,
and the cough.
This is very, very different to what's been delivered by Epitant thus far. If you think of a win at Kempton Park at Christmas time in the Christmas hurdle, that's on a flat speed track going right-handed. This is on a demanding, undulating, testing track going left-handed in a bigger field that's run at a different tempo and pace again. And you think to yourself, where's the one black mark on her excellent CV so far? The Mares Novice 12 months ago, 15-8 favourite, major disappointment. And in a race where, all right, you could inject into there Envoy Allen, who goes elsewhere. You could stick in the 2 mares from Tuesday's race, Honeysuckle and Benny Dejeur.
Honeysuckle or Benny Dejeur probably be favourite for this race.
Well,
it could quite easily win it.
That's a very valid argument. But I just worked through this and I think, do you want to be taking a short price about her when this is a race where, in so many ways, Pentland Hills, Triumph Hurdle winner, also a Grade 1 winner at Aintree. I know this year's been only okay thus far, but there's time for him. Look at Darver Star, for example, last year's winning stable, Gavin Cromwell with Espoir d'Allen, and also look at Epitant's 3 stablemates, one of which, and people will scoff at this, but they might change their tune come 4 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon. A fine, big, sleek black horse who actually has all the time on his side and hasn't had much experience is a horse called Fuzil Raffles, who won a Grade 1 in Punchestown last spring, won at Wincanton first time out. And here's a little detail that a lot of people will have missed. Everyone's talking about Epitant. Which horse went off joint favourite with Epitant for the Christmas hurdle at Kempton? Fuzil Raffles. One's a tiny price, one's a very big price indeed, and has been ignored and forgotten.
Let me put this to you, Dan. Everyone's calling it a rubbish champion hurdle. Now, for me, it's not a rubbish champion hurdle if at 20-4 on Tuesday I've backed the winner.
Yeah.
So there might be value out there for the punters.
It could be a selling hurdle, I don't really care. If I'm coming out on the right side of it, that's good for me.
Exactly.
I think the thing that's key about this, for me, in analysing the champion hurdle, is the absence of horses that are either improving or have the scope to progress. 2, I think, on that score. I would actually bring Fusel Raffles into it if they can get this horse right back on the path we saw last season. But for me, one of them is Epitaunt, and everything has its price. At what stage does she become too big to take on board?
What, if she comes 5-1, you'd be backing her?
I thought 7-2 was fair enough, to be honest. I mean, she's definitely got the standout piece of form in the division. She hammered a place horse from last year in Silver Streak in the Christmas Hurdle.
And of course, sorry to talk over you, but just to inject that she gets £7 from the boys, which could be crucial off a rating of 159.
Annie Power having done similar, but she's the one with a bit of forward momentum. Perhaps the fact she's not been seen since Boxing Day has led people to start thinking she's a horse that you want to get against. But we're judging in Philly, who's compiled an excellent record so far, on the one run, the disappointment when she was still a young, inexperienced horse, rather than the impressive CV she's amassed otherwise, and that includes, for me, the best piece of form in the division.
Well, you mentioned we could have an upset, and you mentioned this horse as well, Silver Streak. It was 3rd last year, was Silver Streak. So let's say from trainer Evan Williams.
Well, Silver Streak has had a good season getting beaten in Grade 1s, but you always hope that the spring ground and having had a lighter campaign this year than he had last year could just help him when it came down to the Champion Hurdle Day.
How pleased were you with his run at Kempton behind Epitante, who of course is being seriously touted as a likely winner?
I couldn't be anything but delighted. I think we ran a very, very good race. Don't get me wrong, the winner was very impressive, and she done everything which was spot on for a champion hurdle trial, and I think that she'll take an awful lot of beating if she turns up in that form, but I still think we can improve on that run.
Is Silver Streak a better horse than 12 months ago?
I think his form suggests he is. He'll have to be. If we can get placed again, we'd be delighted, but I do think that he's had a different campaign this year, and I'm hoping that could eke out a little bit of improvement. We've got an outsider's chance, and we've been trained for the race, and you know, they've all got a chance, and fingers crossed we're one with a bit more than just a little chance.
Definitely an outsider's chance. 3rd last year as well. Right, we've got to move on very quickly. Right, so let's just confirm our selections for the Champion Hurdle. Dan?
Bit of a straight bar, back 2 against the field in this, and unoriginally and boringly, they're the first 2 in the betting. Pentland Hills and Epitaunt, the only 2 horses for me that have real potential to improve.
Unoriginal, boring, exciting, original, Fusel Raffles and Darva Star, both small each way.
OK, let's move to the Supreme. It kicks us off on 1:30, of course, on Tuesday. Supreme novices, we've got the favourite here in Shishkin, because Envoy Allen, Gordon Elliott has said Envoy Allen will go for the Ballymore. And that is definite now. So Shishkin is 11-4. Right, Nicky Henderson, 1 in 19 in the last 10 years. That was Altior in 2016. His record completely is from like 1 in 36. However, I think this Shishkin could be similar to Altior, the way he pulled away at Huntingdon.
Yeah, his speed is pretty frightening for a horse that's got a lack of experience, really. And I think that's probably why Henderson's record in the Supreme is poles apart from his record in the Champion Hurdle. I think his horses go there and they possibly lacking a bit of condition for a race as competitive as that. You look at the Mullins horses, they're normally tried and trusted at Grade 1 level already. Asterion Forlorn's representing that stable. But there's an air with Shishkin, as there was with Altior, as you say, Mark, for me, of something a bit special. That ability to quicken, and you stop the Newbury race as they enter the final furlong. He looks like he might win a length and a half or something. He ends up opening right up and completely dismissing a useful rival.
Let me just throw a question out there. Is this Shishkin the horse that gets chinned up the hill at Cheltenham and goes to Aintree and makes it look really easy on a flat speed track where the emphasis isn't on stamina? I just wonder, because Asterion Forlorn's, Willie Mullins, 6 wins in all. He's won 4 of the last 7. And this fella, when he won the Chanel Farmer Novice there in Leopardstown the last day, he didn't just look good, he looked spectacular. And I wonder, because he's got good experience, he was solid at Nace the day before that, and there does seem to be again an air of confidence. And I wonder if actually, if it turned into a battle between the 2 in the same colours up the hill, if it might be the Irish horse who gets the better of him.
Not a bad position to be in, that, for Mr. Donnelly. When you consider he's got the strong travelling smooth horse, the glider, and then he's got that potential grinder or Styrian Phalange. It's a bit like those who would try to attack Altior in the Champion Chase. There are two horses with different styles who people will be looking to get within Shack and Poursoir and Defi de Soy.
Personally, I would dismiss Nick Henderson's record in this race. Look, he's had 64 festival winners, hasn't he? I think the ground could be the key to Shishkin, couldn't it? Very quickly, Dan, this is very, very important. We are guessing a bit. I mean, what a winter we have had of weather. But what do we think the going's going to be on day one?
It's been up and down for a week or so in the lead up, but it looks like it's going to be the official soft first 2 days, and they're the only 2 days on which any significant
possibly good to
rainfall
soft in places. It does dry out quick.
I suspect it will dry out. There's wind.
It's fresh ground as well, isn't it?
Yeah, they make it on the new. I suspect Old Course first 2 days it will be soft. Maybe it's getting a bit quicker as the Wednesday draws to a close. Thursday, Friday, I'm expecting on that new course, untouched, hardly raced on now for months, might be the place where we get something a bit quicker.
Right, come on, selection in Supremo.
I'm going bigger. I'm going Edward Stone. I think he's a very interesting horse. He's already got a verdict over Fiddler on the Roof.
16 to 1 as well.
Yeah,
I like the look of Edward Stone.
More than twice the price of Fiddler on the Roof. He's a strong traveller who should be well suited by a strongly run Supreme.
Tom, second time.
Styrian Phalange for the reasons given.
Okay, good stuff. Right, let's move on to the Arkle. And we have boosted Notebook. Well, Matt wanted to go 3 to 1, but I've gone 7 to 2. 7 to 2 for Notebook in the Arkle. Let's have a look at the betting for the Arkle. I think this is a fascinating race as well, and I'm looking forward to hearing from Richard Johnson to talking about brewing up a storm as well. Currently 11 to 2. 7 to 2 the field at the moment, but that's 7 to 2 the field. And Matt, I believe you're on a chop Notebook. Is that what price do you want to go on Notebook?
3 to 1.
No. 7 to 2, and I tell you what, we'll keep that 7 to 2 till 7:30. So we'll keep the 7 to 2 Notebook, and these boosts are available online as well, up to £100. So 7 to 2 Notebook, we'll keep that to 7:30. Right then, gents, we're really going to be rushing through the races. Thoughts on the Arkle?
Notebook, 4 from 4 over fences, and if you want to talk up the 5-year-old's a dismal record in this. They're 0 from 11 in recent years. Furthermore, let me give you this, Mark. Bear in mind that when Notebook got the verdict at Christmas over Fakir Dudaris, he was conceding £7. On this occasion, they're racing off level weights, which is going to really enhance the task faced by the younger horse, 2 years younger, brewing up a storm. He's been good, but they're dramatically different tracks where he's won his last 2. There are horses at each weight prices. Mora Banrai, the mare, you've got Esprit du Large, but I think the market has this absolutely spot on. I'm thinking of a very good first 2 days for Henry de Bromhead. Notebook for me, 4 from 4.
My main observation, Mark, is the fact they're going to go crazy in this race. Put the kettle on your favourite horse. That'll be your horse of the week and all that.
Matt still hasn't put the kettle on, by the way.
Myra Bannery,
disciplinary on his way.
Global Citizen, they're all out and out front runners. Fakir Dudaris looked at his best.
Going to go some pace, aren't they?
So I'm going to go for a hold-up horse who thrived in the circumstances similar in a Betfair hurdle last season. That was Al Dancer. Hold-up horse. I wanted Mr. Fisher for this race. Next best thing, I've got the horse who Mr. Fisher beat last time.
Very quickly, anyone got any thoughts on the Ultima? Vindication of Fav?
No, you can keep the Ultima for the time being, Mark.
He's a slightly dodgy jumper. I'm a Disco-Rama fan in this race.
I thought Kildisart's an interesting one.
Yeah, he's coming back to the Boyle. They're trying headgear, which has looked worth a try for a good while now. But Disco-Rama's been second on both previous visits to the festival. No doubt he'll be bang there again.
Right, we've spoken about the champion hurdle already. The mare's hurdle. Well, I think Benny de Jure or Honeysuckle, we could both win the champion hurdle. Why is Honeysuckle going for this race?
I don't know. The task is less for her, I think. I mean, if you just check the betting, she'd be a bigger price for that champion than she would be for this mare's race. I mean, there's not much in it.
No, it's not my horse, and I'm not a trainer either, so you've got to respect their what they want to do. But you get remembered for winning champion hurdles, you don't get remembered for winning mare's hurdles.
That's very true, and I'm sure that's something they could perhaps look towards next season. The Mullinses have done it for years now with great success, cherry picking really the easier option. But she's an absolute star, Benny de Jure, and Honeysuckle still, if you look at that betting, she's 5 to 2 to win this. She wouldn't be as short as that. So in theory, if you judge betting markets, they've chosen the right race. They've given her the better chance.
Matt, in the National Hunt Chase, are we still top price for Carefully Selected?
Certainly are. 2 to 1. You can have Carefully Selected. It is still available. The only one we haven't got rid of is Notebook, Mark.
And the one race we've not spoken about on the first day is a Northern Trust Company Novices Handicap Chase.
I like two in this.
Come.
Both hold up strong travelling
I'm
horses.
glad you've looked at all 28 races.
Nothing else to do. Espoir de Guy, who was a very impressive Ascot winner. His form has been like that throughout. He had a panic attack, bizarrely, in his box prior to Ascot when he was supposed to run the other month. So that's a slight concern. But the other one will be Hold the Note, who went really close at Warwick. Dropping in trip will be a massive positive for him and the stable. In fact, the same connections in total. Mr. Whittaker, they won this in 2018.
Yeah, Mr. Whittaker looked quite a big prize as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the fact that they've targeted this race with a horse in Hold the Note, which they won 2 years ago, suggests to me that's probably been the plan all along. And the experiment with 3 miles, it didn't exactly go west, but it didn't work out as well as they might have hoped.
Tom, you're looking at me?
Not the novice handicap chase, but the concluding race Tuesday is the National Hunt Chase, the what was the 4 miler, now 3 mile 6. I gave you my reasons why I'm very anti the idea of carefully selected.
Yeah, so what's the winner then?
Number 6, Lord de Menil for Richard Hobson, who actually ironically had 2 runners today. They both pulled up, but before that, all his last 3 runners hit the back of the net. He's in really good form, excellent strike rate, and this horse on official ratings wins. He's clear top at level weight in that race, and he's got the excellent Sam Whaley-Cohen, Gold Cup winning rider no less. I think at 8-1, knocking back.
I can tell you Ravenhill has been backed in that race in the Betfred shops. Right, we're on here till 8 o'clock. That's day 1 done.
4 days like no other. A festival like no other. Betfred are best odds guaranteed on all races at Cheltenham. If your selection wins at bigger odds after taking the early price, we'll pay you out at the higher odds.
Yeah, best odds guaranteed. All races at Cheltenham from 6 p.m. the night before in our shops, from 7 a.m. the morning online. Right then, Matt, notebooks getting chopped at 7:30. We do the price comparisons, please. Big man, and then go and put the kettle on.
Well, dear, right, let's have a look at notebook then. As I mentioned, you wanted to go 7, so you went 7-2. Could have gone 3-1, been top price. See what I'm working with here, but 7-2, a full point bigger than everyone else on the high street. That is not going to last long, and Tom Lee really fancies that one as well. Carefully selected. They were against this one, but plenty have been for it for Willie Mullins. They rushed to qualifying. They were desperate to qualify for this race. 2-1. Paddy Power 13-8. General 6-4. 2-1. You can have carefully selected though in the not quite 4 miler now that concludes Tuesday's card. Tom Lee, a big fan of this one.
There's a difference there, isn't there? Look at Coral Ladcrooks.
5-2 for Manella Indo. 3's at Hills. Paddy Power 100-30. They're doing well here, aren't they, Paddy Power? 4-1 though, Manella Indo for the RSA. And in that bumper, I say many people's idea of a banker for the meeting. So impressive the last twice he's run at Leopardstown. Appreciate it. 2-1 to give Willie Mullins a 10th champion bumper. 13-8 everywhere else in the village.
And Matt, before you go and put the kettle on, because we're all gasping here, big news about Altior today. Just tell us what's the news coming out of the Nicky Henderson camp about Altior.
Yeah, reported this morning that he was lame. He's in a race to be fit now for Wednesday's champion chase. They declare tomorrow at 10 o'clock. I expect he will be declared. Whether he makes the lineup, that is a big question mark. Obviously, he's out to around about 11-4 now. Betfred in Cheltenham Festival. He's going to be the race of the festival. Them 3 lineup. Was really looking forward to it. Fingers crossed. It's not as bad as first third, and all is okay in the morning.
All right, well, let's turn our attention now to the champion chase and see how we bet for this. Obviously, Altior on the drift on the news that may have a problem. So, Defi Dissoy now. To be honest, I was keen on Defi Dissoy even before the news about Altior. He's into 5-4. Tell us about his Chacun pour soi, Tom.
Well, actually, if you want to...
I know I've probably pronounced it wrong as well.
Not remotely, no. Very good, very good.
All these French horses have ruined... All these French horses have ruined my broadcasting career.
It's all these holidays...
Not that I ever had one.
It's all these holidays you keep taking that people are cribbing you for. Moving swiftly on. Chacun pour soi is the horse who actually, ironically, shot down Defi Dissoy at Punchestown in early May, which was still part of the Irish season, not part of the British one. If you want a good stat, 8 of the past 20 winners of this Queen Mother Champion Chase unbeaten during the current season. You can apply that to Defi Dissoy if you disregard that Punchestown win. Chacun pour soi is clearly a very, very serious talent. He's rated 171, which actually on the official figures at level weight puts him second behind Altior. His defeat to Surname, his advancing years, Altior we're talking about now, and indeed this news that's been released today that they face this race against time means that many people will justifiably argue that Chacun pour soi is the one on this occasion. For me, I'm very much in agreement with you, Mark. Defi du Soi, you see the rising tide of confidence. Not only that, allied to his specific ability, 6 course victories at Cheltenham, his form at the track since November 18, second, first, last year's JLT winner. And the really great thing about him is you've got speed and stamina vital at Cheltenham, particularly when the rain's been falling through the winter.
And you've got a trainer who's won the Champion Chase before, of course. So let's hear from that trainer. It's Philip Hobbs.
He's an extraordinary horse, really, because he's very tough and also very genuine, and everything's gone well from the start. So we've had a brilliant season so far, so we hope it might improve yet.
The way that everyone is talking about the Queen Mother, it is perceived the race of the week, and he will need to improve.
Will he need to improve? I suppose that's probable that he might. Chacun Pour Soi's obviously beaten him before, although his form maybe this season hasn't been as good as it was in the past, and you could say the same about Altior as well. But yeah, he's going to have to be top of his game, isn't he?
In all your training career, where would this horse, in the grand scheme of things, rate?
Well, he's 170 now, so that tells you a fair old bit looking at the facts. I mean, we've had 3 or 4 horses over the years rated higher than that, but he's right up there with them, yeah.
And you'd love a second Queen Mother.
That would be very good.
It certainly would be very good. Well, let's hear from a man who knows all about Defi du Soi. It was only when he won the Triumph in 2018. It's Dickie Johnson. Richard, good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
Good evening, yeah, very good, thank you.
First of all, let's talk about Defi du Soi. Unfortunately, not going to be on him, of course, but he is a very, very special horse.
Yeah, no, he's and you know, I when I won the Triumph third line, he was very, very impressive. And he's a horse I think has really improved and up to the game over the last 2 seasons. So I think he goes to Cheltenham as the one to beat.
And Richard, how's the health then? Because you broke the arm, you had the operation of plating, and you had 37 days out. 37 days out. What was wrong with you? Why did you take so long to come back?
I was having a nice holiday. But yeah, no, look, I was lucky that you know it meant reasonably quickly, and you know we've been lucky to get back, and obviously we're aiming to get back for Cheltenham, and we've managed to get back sort of a few days before than we thought.
You had no luck today at Warwick, but you're certainly going to carry on and go for this title, aren't you?
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, it would be nice to get another win today, but like I say, we keep working hard, and fingers crossed. We got lots to look forward to over the next 6 weeks, and plenty of horses to ride.
Richard, we're building up to Cheltenham. Look, we absolutely love it, but you know, what does it mean as a jockey, the 4 days of the Cheltenham Festival?
Well, I think that these days it's got bigger and bigger, and for a trainer or an owner or a jockey, it's to have a winner over the 4 days. It does cap a season. Obviously, my main ambition of the year is to be champion jockey, but the Cheltenham Festival is very, very special, and again, it's very hard to have a winner there, but it really does make a big difference.
You look to have a decent chance in the Arkle with Brewing Up a Storm.
Yeah, he's very, very good horse. He was a very decent novice hurdler last year. He won his 2 novice chases, and the first one at Carlisle worked out really, really well. So I actually schooled him this morning. He seems in very, very good form, and I think Ollie couldn't be happy with him. So hopefully he goes there in good form, and he's definitely a horse we know he stays 2.5, and I think it's important round Cheltenham, especially in these championship races, that you're a strong stayer, and I think that should stand him in very good stead.
Because there's some real pace in that Arkle race as well, isn't there?
Yeah, it's going to be run at a real true run race, and like I say, the really important part is sort of after 3 out and to the winning post. So hopefully that's where you'll be seeing Brewing Up a Storm doing his best work.
And Richard, Time Hill, any decision yet on Time Hill? Is it definitely Albert Bartlett, or has the decision not been made yet?
I think it's definitely leaning towards more the Albert Bartlett. We were waiting as well to see what Gordon did with Envoy Allen as well, and obviously he definitely goes to Ballymore now, and I think the way the forecast is looking, I'm not saying it's going to dry up a lot, but we're probably not going to get a lot more rain from Tuesday onwards. So I think by Friday, will have dried a little bit, and I think that sort of makes us think that the Out Barlet is going to be the right race.
Richard, Tom here. Just in light of the hard work you're putting in with Dave Roberts, your agent, Roy, your driver, will you be at Cheltenham all 4 days, or might you divert somewhere to try and net 2 or 3 winners for this title chase?
Well, at the moment we're going to be Cheltenham each day. Obviously we've got some good nice rides through the week. Obviously Brett Bruin up a Storm and Time Hill are the best 2, but again, I'd like to think I've got some decent sorts through the whole weekend.
Rich, any name to look out for in the handicaps that people might not have on the radar, that something you're looking forward to putting your leg over, perhaps Thursday, Friday?
Well, I think Le Roy, she runs on Thursday in the plate, and I think she's a mare coming back from Grade 1 company into handicap company, and I'd like to think she goes there with a big chance.
Richard, just got a couple of questions for you. We'll let you carry on your preparation for tomorrow, of course, at Stratford as well, before going to Cheltenham. What's your best chance during the week then, would you say?
I think Tiny Hill has to be the best chance. I wouldn't put anybody else brewing up a Storm either. They're my main 2 rides, I think, of the week. But Time Hill, he's done nothing wrong at all, and obviously that form from the Champion Bumper last year, that's probably the best bit of form that you can go on from last year.
And what's the one horse you would love to be on? What's the one horse you would love to be on at the Cheltenham Festival?
Well, I think Betfred. He for me, he's the. Obviously, I know him anyway, but I saw him the other morning at Phillips. He looks in great order. I thought his Ascot run the last day was very impressive. And again, I just think he's the improver. He's already won at 2 festivals. It's very hard to knock him, and Alfior is, without doubt, one of the best horses I've seen in my career. But I think hopefully Betfred is always the young and up and coming one, and hopefully he'll give away to him.
Richard, thanks for joining us. Richard will be with us every day at 10:30 live on Betfred TV. The best of luck for next week, Richard. I really appreciate you giving your time on Sunday evenings. He's busy preparing for the Cheltenham Festival. I asked him this question, fellas, didn't I, about the 37 days, obviously tongue-in-cheek. It just shows how tough these fellas are. Breaks his arm, has an operation to put a metal plate in it, and he's back 37 days later, Tom. Well, a footballer be back 37 years later.
Well, I tell you what, Dan will agree with me. He must be one of the hardest sportsmen that ever lived, because he looked in serious pain at Exeter when he came off the track, and that's a man who does not just give out distress signals for the sake of it. And in between times, he's got a house full of children, he's got a big family to look after, he's got all this pressure and all this strain and all of this focus and intensity going into the festival, and yet there he is managing to come on the phone and talk after his rides at Warwick today, off to Stratford tomorrow, where he's got a really good chance, seemingly on tidal flows, rated 146 in a 4-runner novice chase. Look out for that just before 4 o'clock in the Betfred shops. So he's going to be a great insight through the 4 days, Dan.
I was minded absolutely of Leighton Aspel's retirement, his second retirement, and he listed, after saying, I've been very lucky with injuries, not much has happened, and he then listed something that was like that board game operation, everything that could have been broken.
McCoy, when he was riding, everything broken.
Yeah.
Look, how many jobs do you get chased by an ambulance?
Yeah, it's very true.
That's how tough these fellas are. So Richard Johnson, every day, live on Betfred TV at 10:30. Right, hate doing this. Push is still to come. Let's just talk about Wednesday very, very quickly. Right, the Ballymore. We now know Envoy Allen is going for the Ballymore. 3 favourites in the last 10. The favourite, yes or no, Dan? You need to be quick.
No.
Alternative?
Sporting John, I just think, has a bit of star potential.
Yes.
Envoy Allen is special that everyone's on about?
Well, I can only work upon what
obviously won the bumper last year.
Absolutely. So he's handled the occasion before, he's handled the track before. Ireland have won 10 of the last 17, 5 of the last 6, and of course they had a choice of races. They go for this. Now you're talking Irish banker material.
Iris Chase, we know what you fancy.
Minella Indo,
and that's still available, top price at 4-1. The cross country. 5-4 last year, Tiger Roll. Tiger Roll's even money at the moment. Tiger Roll going to do it again? Once so impressive last year.
I hope not, because as soon as that race had finished at December at the Cheltenham, I was on Racing TV, Easy's Land had sauntered clear. I was quick to back him at the 6-1 available then for the cross-country chase. I think the French have real depth in that division at the moment. They had the first two that day, actually, and JP stepped in to buy him. He was fine by the end of his race last time. He's won every single start that he's completed over cross-country fences, and I think he's the most exciting rival Tiger Roll's faced in winning this race anyway.
So not Tiger Roll for the hat-trick, at least in the cross-country?
No, I let him win the National. Let me win this before him.
Right, very quickly, let's have a look at top jockey market as well. Paul Townend is the favourite because he's probably going to ride a lot of Mullins horses, isn't he? So Willie Mullins, obviously, 65 festival winners. So last time I looked, Paul Townend was about the 2-1 fav in this market as well. Richard Johnson, our guest, is a very, very big price. He might pick up a few rides yet. So 2-1 favourite, Paul Townend. Davy Russell, I do like Davy Russell at Cheltenham as well. The one that's been back, though, because of the Henry de Bromhead horses, is Rachel Blackmore at 9-2, Tom.
Well, if you think towards the start of the week, she's got Trainwreck, she's got Notebook, she's got Manila Indo, and that's before you work into the back of the week, bearing in mind that she owned Gold Cup Day last year with those two winners. So really, Manila Indo and A Plutar putting her name up in lights. She's a phenomenal rider. She's some talent, and I think there's something about her that reminds me a little bit of Brian Hughes, that even if she gets beaten in a race, she has this uncanny ability to position a horse who might not be within 10 pounds at level weights of whatever goes on and wins the race, but she gives them the best chance to win, and they all seem to gallop for her, and they all seem to travel for her. Positioning, timing, bravery. She's a great rider.
Right, let's have a look at top trainer very, very quickly. I remember when Mullins has been 10s on before the start of this festival. He's a bigger price. 4-6, gone at it 11-4. Nicky Henderson 9-2. Henry de Bromhead, I think, is a big price at 12-1. I think you could get off to a cracking start as well on day one. Very quickly, your thoughts on this market?
Well,
Dan?
if you're backing Rachel Blackmore for top jockey, you're probably looking to be backing Henry de Bromhead at more than twice the price of top trainer. Of course, Rachel will have other rides, but they are inextricably linked, those two.
Right, thanks very much so far, but we need some more pushes. So we have done Notebook, that has been chopped. We've gone Carefully Selected, top price at 2-1. Hope that's still available. Matt will tell otherwise in a moment. Manila Indo, top price at 4-1. Appreciate, also available at 2-1. But Matt, we're not stopping there. Give us some decent pushes, please, big man.
We'll do. Right, those three are still available. Notebook is the only one that has gone. How about these then? I've had a Barney Rubble for you. Paisley Park in the stays and Tiger Roll in the cross-country. Hat-trick seeking Tiger Roll. Paisley Park looking to retain his stays. Hurdle Crown was 9-4. 3-1. I mentioned Appreciate is a
That's buying dough, isn't it?
Envoy Allen's a banker. This is many people's idea of a couple of bankers as well. Right, Min in the Ryanair chase. We're going to boost this one for Willie Mullins. Was 11-4. We're boosting him out to 7-2. More on him shortly. Triumph Hurdle, remember this a few weeks ago, Solo in the Adonis. It was like it was the second coming. No, not that one. That one's gone. Solo in the Triumph Hurdle. Here we go. When you're ready, guys. 3-1.
That's my fault, Matt, trying to get it open again. But no, Notebook has gone.
Right, 4-1. 4-1 for Solo to win the Triumph Hurdle. We'll prove it for you shortly. There it is on screen. Solo, 4-1. So impressive for Paul Nicholls. And what about this one? This has got to be the best one. The reigning Gold Cup champion Album Photo was 7-2. Now 9-2, looking to be only the 7th horse to win back-to-back Gold Cups. That'll do for me, fellas.
Thanks very much. So more price beats up to £100. He's still not put the kettle on as well. Disgraceful. Come on, let's do a gasping here, Matt. Go and put the kettle on. You've got nothing else to do now. You've done the price boost. Or are you going to do the price comparisons, are you? Right, just very quickly. We're going to go through the races, but I want a yes or no. The Paisley Park Tiger Roll double is going to be very popular at 3-1. Yes or no?
It will. But
we were top price at 9-4 and we've already gone 3-1.
I hate saying,
Fred did it yesterday, actually.
I hate saying no because I think Paisley Park's a walking certainty, but I'm an Easy's Land fan in that cross country. Maybe Tom's got a different view.
Right, Tom, Min for Ryanair, 7-2.
No, 3 appearances at Cheltenham, 3 good runs, 3 defeats. I think
second in the champion chase last year.
Yeah, absolutely, but always finding 1 or 2 too good. And the other thing, I just wonder because he's such a refined, elegant horse that that hard, rough and tumble extended 2.5 miles on a track like Cheltenham. I just wonder if it's quite his thing. He's ultra consistent. He's usually first or second, but you see in those 3 runs, what's he been? Second in a Supreme Novice, 5th in a Queen Mother Champion Chase. He's never won at this track. I think that trend continues.
Manila Indo is under pressure, no surprise, because that is a big price at 4-1. What Solo 4-1 for the Triumph?
I don't want to continue a theme of negativity, but he's a horse I want to be against as well. I think
Right, okay. Right, forget you two. Right, Solo, top price for the Triumph, Solo. I know someone who is very keen on Solo. Matt, sell Solo to me for Triumph.
So impressive last time out, I'm not actually. Get rid of me as well. Look, he's 4-1 though. Look, he put in such a good performance in the Adonis. He is strongly fancied. Paul Nicholls has done this double before with Zarkanda, winning the Adonis and then going on to win the Triumph. He's a popular, but for me, Mark, it's a red-hot division this year.
I thought he was keen on Solo. No, he's actually keen on... it's Goshen, isn't it? You're keen in the Triumph.
Yeah, very much. I know Dan is as well. We're going to wax lyrical about that shortly.
Right then, trying to sound the pushes, but I can tell you they're the favourites and are boosted to a top price. That is a beauty of Cheltenham. It's all about opinion as well. Right, what about Alboom Photo? Anyone going to stick their hand up for Alboom Photo? Top price 9-2. Right, Dan, first of all.
Yeah, I mean, the prep's almost identical to 12 months ago. He's an adaptable horse, so we're fine if it's a test of speed, fine if it's a test of stamina. I think he's... Of course, horses have been campaigned just for this race in mind, but he really has.
No back-to-back since Best Mate, does that worry you?
Not really, because no horse has been campaigned really in a similar fashion to this horse. He's been minded so carefully.
I suppose similar fashion to Best Mate used
Precisely,
to be.
Yeah. Cotton wool was what we used to say they were wrapped in, and it worked for that horse, and I think it can work for this
I've not come to you yet, Tom, because you didn't put your hand up. Matt, you put your hand up for Alboom Photo. Tell us why.
Similar to Dan, he's been kept under wraps, of course. Saw him at Tremor on New Year's Day. He won it by 7 lengths like he did 12 months earlier. Perfect prep, back to the Gold Cup. I think he wins it back-to-back, just like Best Mate did.
Now, Tom, I'll let you speak.
Good stats race, actually. I just wanted to inject this. If you're an Alboom Photo fan, 8 of the last 17 favourites successful, and only 2 winners since the year 2000 have gone off bigger than 8-1. So if you're looking for these huge price outsiders, this seemingly, at least on the trends and the patterns, is not the race to try and do it. All of a sudden, those horses towards the front cluster, Alboom, Kenboy, Clandis Oboe, I think that's where you need to be fishing.
Right, we'll talk about the race in more detail before we finish the Gold Cup, but let's look at the feature race on Thursday, which is the Stayers Hurdle. 5 favourites in the last 10 years. Of course, we've had the big bucks at a short price, we've had Thistle Crack at a short price, and we've got Paisley Park at a short price as well. Trained by Emma Lavelle. One of the stories of last year because of Iona as well. Loves his racing, loves West Ham as well. So, not on a great season.
Yeah. Of everything.
Right, Paisley Park, yes or no?
An absolute yes. I mean, not only is he, I think,
Bank of the week, isn't it?
I think he's the best staying hurdler around. He's still improving, if anything. And the opposition in this is as thin as it is in that champion hurdle. So for me, another win on the board for him. And he'll cement his status as one of those great back-to-back winners. And we've seen plenty of those down the years.
Tom?
Yeah, that's the key. He's still improving and he's still young enough to show further development. And you see he hasn't been over-raced. He beat Somerville Boy the last day. And you go through that race that we've just seen. That betting show, of course, includes Benny Didier, who runs on Tuesday. Going through them, Penn Hill's probably not quite the level he was. Apple's Jade can't be trusted. City Island has a shout each way. But working through them, it's a horse that, if you think that, I'm just looking at my stats here, 6 of the last 12 winners top rated, he's miles top rated, and of course the 6, 7, 8-year-olds dominate that division. He's an 8-year-old, 27 of the last 30 from that age category, so much leans towards him.
Well, quite a few of us will probably be looking for a bit of each way value as well. So what about Somerville Boy? Won the Supreme in 2018, and we can hear from Somerville Boy's trainer, Tom George.
Somerville Boys had a really good start to the season, first half of the season. Last season didn't go quite right. We had a few niggling injuries, which we put right over the summer. We then started off in a novice chase campaign, which started well, but never really was going to happen, I don't think. In our heart of heart, we thought probably back to hurdles. And then he won at Cheltenham on New Year's Day, and then he finished very good second to Paisley Park in the Cleve Hurdle. Paisley Park, you don't know quite how much he had up his sleeve at the end, but he was actually only a length in front of him, all being said at the end. We always thought that some of the boys' stamina wouldn't be a problem with his stamina. But on the other side of it, he's won a Supreme novice hurdle and he's won a Tolworth hurdle as well, so there's no problem with the speed. But now that we know that we're guaranteed to get the 3 miles, we can change our tactics a bit, and there probably is going to be still more to come.
Do you think he's going to win?
I don't think it's an impossibility. I think he's got more chance of beating Paisley Park than anyone else has, but we've got to find a bit more improvement, but there's nothing to say we can't.
There we are, Tom George with Somerville. Boy, because I'll be looking at the each-way angle in that race.
Yeah, and it's understandable because you've got an odds-on favourite and you've got doubts about so many. The trouble I have, I mean, he's possibly the exception, is a dearth of really solid rivals. Emitom's an up-and-comer, but he's got to jump better than he has been doing. City Island's on a retrieval mission after the experiment with chasing didn't go right. Last year it was Sam Spinner who got the silver medal. He had some back class to call upon, not going to go to the festival this season because of injury, but you may be looking in that sort of bracket, something to finish third.
Right then, big man, go through your price boosts again with your name and shame the opposition. I can see Paisley Park and Tiger Roll 50% more at Betfred than Ladcrooks, William Hill and Coral.
Best thing is, Mark, we were already top price about this double. We're top price on both these as singles as well. We boosted the double into 3-2 on Paddy Powell 9-4. You mentioned 50% more than Corals, Ladbrokes and William Hill. Get that whilst it lasts. Let's move on. They've also boosted Min. General 11-4 across the board, 7-2 for Winnie Mullins' charge, and we know he likes it at the festival. That is all important festival form. He has that in abundance. We've also boosted it Solo. We did. Here we are. Here's proof. 4-1. We don't like it. Dan doesn't like it, but it is a favourite. He likes it. What does he know? 4-1 though for Solo in the Triumphant. 11-4 Hills. 3s at Paddy Power. Burlington Bertie at Ladbrokes Cole. But 4-1 Solo. That would be popular because Paul Nicholls has mentioned it could be the second coming. And then this one. Look at this. Album photo, 9-2, only 130 at Ladbrokes, General 7-2. Last year's Gold Cup winner, he's won on his prep race at Tremor, he's done nothing wrong. He's 9-2 to win a second Gold Cup. That is huge. Take that, please take that.
Thanks very much, Matt. Give me a shout if any of those boosts have gone. Notebooks being chopped. Manila Indo has been chopped as well. Those boosts are up to £100. Right, we've got 9.5 minutes left. We've got a hell of a lot of races to do. In fact, we've got 14. We've got about 13 races to talk about. Martian Offices got a view on the first on Thursday.
Genuinely not a strong view. If Allaho went for this race, he'd be top of my list, but I think there's still a bit of uncertainty as to his target.
The Patemps, Tom. Got a view yet on this handicap hurdle?
I've got a view that I'm going to ask Dan Barber because this is a very Dan Barber type of race that I've neatly sidestepped.
Yeah.
I met Fingal Bay winning was probably my last winner of this with Richard Johnson on board, wasn't he? Just got it up.
I've not had a... I think you did me that year. I was on Southfield Theatre and up.
Good.
Not had a bet in this. I'll be waiting until the overnight stage. I'll definitely be having one, don't worry.
Ryanair,
Mark, all I will just inject there is that this time last year for the stayers I backed Kilbrick and Storm. Here he is off 140 running at a handicap for Tizard and Cobden combination. I suspect come the day if I can find nothing superior, my voucher will say Kilbrick and Storm.
Ryanair, we've boosted Min to a top price of 7-2. Views on the Ryanair?
Yeah, I think that 7-2 is a good price. For me, you're batting the horse who's got the best form, and I appreciate he's been to the festival 3 times. He's had the misfortune of running into Altior on 2 of those. No Altior this time around. There isn't a Plutard, but I don't think a Plutard's form yet is quite on the same level as Min. So for me, him and Alboon Photo of the boosted prize we've just had do appeal as value.
What on earth is wrong with last year's winner, who's off the back of a win at Kempton? Frodon, Bryony Frost, rated 168. That puts him within £2 of Min, and it puts him superior to Aplutar. There are excuses for his 2 prior defeats. There were no fences at Aintree, and there was a bog on a track that didn't suit him at Haydock. Go back to his festival form and go back to his Cheltenham form, indeed, in the last 18 months. He's borderline unbeatable. Frodon for me, 5-1.
The play, I thought, Simply the Bets.
Yeah, he's a real improver. He won the Time Form sponsored race, which always wins well for me. But I like a horse in here, Shattered Love.
Won the Geeks race.
The Geeks race, that's the one, yeah. For those who don't get out much. Shattered Love.
That's all of us.
A past festival winner, won the JLT. Perhaps standards have slipped slightly, but I was really impressed with the last run. She was second to Chrissy's Dream under that horse's optimum conditions. Saw her race out really well in first-time cheek pieces, and the handicap has finally cut her some slack. She's off 149 for this.
Tom, the Mayor's Novice Hurdle, any thoughts?
That's worse than the Patemps.
Absolutely, that's worse than the Patemps.
The Melody?
At this stage, wait, watch, learn, observe. Thursday's a long way away. No thank you, fence, sitting on.
The Kinmore, Out the Acorn, I thought he'd have a good chance.
Yeah, if he goes for this one, there's still a bit of uncertainty. I mean, the horse who ran well last year to be second,
Well, that's the beauty of non-run no bet, of course,
was interesting. But yeah, LeBroy would be my non-run no bet vehicle in this race. A horse who I've backed for the National already, had a nice sighter in the Beecher over those fences, shaped well again at Warwick when he got too far back. He was the horse who edged out Discorama in that gruelling National Hunt chase last season. No questions at all about stamina for a punishing test like this. For me, he'll do to try and give that stable a much-needed big winner because they've had a very mixed time of things.
Right, let's have a good look at the Gold Cup, of course, the feature race of the whole meeting and the feature race on day 4, of course. We have boosted its album photo to 9-2. 3 favourites in the last 10 years have won this race as well. Santini, 7-2. Can anyone make a case for Santini?
Yeah, of course you can. I mean, he's an out-and-out stayer. They win Gold Cups. The likes of Clandes Oboe were found out last season because of the different test of stamina compared to Kempton. I suspect it will be the same story this time around. You could say Kemboy still got stamina to prove. He tipped up at the first last season. He beat Albion Photo at Punchestown, but I'd much rather take Cheltenham form at face value than Punchestown, so I'd still be an Albion Photo fan. But he's got untapped potential as an out-and-out stayer, Santini, and I think there's some headgear going on as well.
Presenting Percy. Interesting. Come on, you know the camp.
Truly compelling and fascinating.
Does anyone know the camp?
Does anyone know the camp? I think
not normal routes.
Not normal routes. That much is true. However, a lot more conventional preparation. We've seen him twice as often this season. Furthermore, the one thing you can say, Mark, absolutely categorically and with no shadow of a doubt, where Pat Kelly is concerned, and Philip Reynolds, the owner, accepts this, there is one day only that matters for Presenting Percy. I really wouldn't be worried if he finished behind 2 of these at Christmas time. I really wouldn't be worried if, whatever the preparation is, last year it was the Goran Hurdle. This year we've seen him, the Galmoy at Goran, I should say. This year we've seen him twice over fences. He will be peaked for one day at a track where he's won an RSA, he's won a Pertemps, and he's still only 9 years of age, rated 166. Do not discount him. There is some sentiment involved with the common sense as well. I will be backing him each way at double figure prices on the day.
I'm also going to be backing one each way at double figure prices as well. It's Bristol de May. And let's hear from his trainer.
Let's start with the horse that we all love, Bristol de May, in the Gold Cup.
Yep, he's in really good form. He was 3rd last year, best of the British. I wonder why shouldn't he be the same? And hopefully the Irish aren't going to come here in quite such good form.
How do you rate this year's Gold Cup? It looks to me pretty open.
I think it probably is. Yeah, and it did last year as well. But yeah, we've got a very good chance.
Do you think you have? Is the horse well?
Very, very good. Yeah.
And does the ground make any difference? We always say he likes it on the soft side.
No, I don't think so. No. He's run on all grounds and won on all grounds.
Cool.
3rd last year, Bristol de May each way for me. Right, very quickly, once again, Gold Cup selection, Dan. Just the name of the horse, no reason. Yep, come on.
Look no further than the boost, Albion Photo.
Tom?
Presenting Percy each way.
Matt?
Albion Photo for me.
OK, and I'm Bristol de May each way. Right, let's recap what's still available. Carefully selected in the National Hunt Chase, where a top price of 2-1. That is still available. Appreciate it. 2-1 in the Champion Bumper. Willie Mullins won it 9 times before, 3 in the last 10. That is still available. This won't last long. The Festival Double. Tiger Roll for many of the banker on Wednesday in the cross country, and the banker for many of the whole week. Paisley Park. 3-1 from 9-4. And we've done Min in the Ryanair, 7-2 from 11-4. In the Triumph, we've gone 4-1 for Solo. I think this Paul Nicholls horse is very, very special, especially the way it won at the Adonis at Kempton as well. Solo on the screen right now. And this gets a thumbs up from Dan and Matt. Al Boom Photo. Last year's winner, 9-2. 9-2 from 7-2. It's going up on the screen. Confirmed in a moment. Al Boom Photo. There we are. Al Boom Photo. 9-2. Right, we are rapidly running out of time, gents. So if we don't fancy Solo for the Triumph Hurdle, who do we fancy, Dan?
Goshen. I think he's an absolute monster. I know he's had a tendency to jump right, but it wasn't that bad at Sandown. He went to Ascot next time, beat a horse called Nordano, who's since spread eagled all age rivals in a good competitive handicap. So for me, he's the best horse in the race, he's the best prospect in the race, and he's the one horse in the race who people are allowing to go off too big a price because they're getting preoccupied about his jumping.
Tom?
We've talked a good
briefly
bit about Henry de Bromhead. He's run at Aspire Tower, who would have won the last day if he didn't capsize late on.
Matt, very quickly then.
All over Goshen, some reasons for Dan. We've been talking about this for the last 2 months.
Right, you've also got the County Hurdle on Friday, which we'll skip. You've got the Albert Bartlett, where you heard from Richard Johnson earlier if it's his best chance of week, and it will probably go for the Albert Bartlett. That is Time Hill. And we've got the Fox Hunters, the Johnny Henderson Grand Annual, and the Martin Pine. Anyone got anything left field on Friday that you want to talk about very quickly? Got to be quick.
Massive shout for Mossy Fen, potentially.
What's that in?
For Nigel Twisting Days. He goes for the Albert Bartlett. Of course, Time Hill's a very solid horse. And Grenadine's a horse I like in the Grand Annual. Could have run in an Arkle, this horse, for me. I think he's that good.
Right, it's nap time, and obviously Matt's nap is the breakfast buffet. That is guaranteed. He'll be there very, very early every day. But what's your nap from the 28 races, Matt?
A Plutard in the Rhine. I know the guys are a bit lukewarm on it, but his most impressive winner at last year's festival over the same trip, although it's on the new course for Rachel Blackmore and Henry de Bromhead. A Plutard in the Rhine.
Give me a slice, Mark, in the 2:10 on Wednesday, the RSA of Manila Indo, a horse who pops up
Price
at this time of
gone,
year.
unfortunately.
Well, this time last year he turned up at Cheltenham as a huge price. Any price you like, delivered the goods, followed up at Punchestown, only 2 runs over fences. There's an excuse for his defeat, that wasn't over far enough. He was emphatic the last day, loads more to come. He will win the RSA Manila Indo.
I'm going for a Triumph, and that's the horse called Goshen. I think he's a sensational prospect, I really do. And if he jumps right at Cheltenham, some people might deem it a negative, but there are so few hurdles in the last 6 furlongs of that race, it doesn't really matter. He'll get the rail in the straight and he'll gallop them into submission.
Gents, thanks for your company. Really, really appreciated. We'll have Richard Johnson every day on Betfred TV at 10:30. These gents will be with us throughout the festival as well. I hope you've enjoyed the show. The build-up continues on Betfred TV and our social media as well. Thanks for watching when it's been in a Betfred shop, our Facebook or Twitter as well. If you can have a bet this Cheltenham, please keep it fun and gamble responsibly. That's what we're about every day, not just at Cheltenham. Please keep it fun and gamble responsibly. We are going to be best odds guaranteed as well from 6 p.m. the night before in our shops and 7 a.m. on the day of the race. Right, there is just under 41 and a half hours until we'll hear that famous roar ahead of a Supreme. Stay classy, Betfred.
I'm
going to push the favourite.
It's Ladies' Day. St Patrick's Thursday.
The Irish invasion is here.
It's the final day here at Cheltenham.
The Gold Cup. 4 days like no other. A festival like no other. For a bookmaker like no other. Betfred, at the heart of Cheltenham.
Yeah.